Hi there, it's Lukasz for the Tech Travel Geeks. I've been using the Redmi Note 9T 5G by Xiaomi for a while now, and I decided to do an in-depth gaming test, as it's using the MediaTek Dimensity 800U chipset which we haven't used before. Is it any good? Find out here, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks to see more videos from us, including the upcoming review of this great device. The model I'm using is the 4GB memory and 128GB of fast storage, which should hopefully help with the performance. For this test I went through a wide variety of games, from old school arcade, through my favorite racing games, up to the latest hits like Call of Duty Mobile or FORTNITE, to see if we can call this large screen device a proper gaming phone. And I was really surprised by the results, as you'll see in a moment. Let's start with some platforming games, which are always great fun with the game controller like the iPega Red Knight. Unsurprisingly, Sonic works great and it's always a pleasure playing it. There aren't too many games as fun as this one. I also played Comix Zone from Sega, but this one doesn't support the controller too well. Luckily, no performance downgrades on this device. For a slightly newer game, Rayman Adventures works brilliantly. The game is excellent and runs really smoothly, so make sure to check it out. For the newest 2D platform game, I tested Oddmar, which popped up to me in the Play Store. It's a free-to-play game starring a Viking, and I really enjoyed playing it. The graphics are great and the game is really smooth. I also remembered an old game I loved on my first Android phones, Vector, which is a parkour endless runner game. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you do that, as it's really fun. I then moved to some fighting games. Street Fighter 4 played really well, but it had some small stutters here and there. Yet, despite that, it was still really fun, as long as you don't expect constant 60 frames per second. Definitely a fun game. On the other side of the spectrum, I can never understand why Shadow Fight series is so popular. To me, it's really slow-paced and rather boring. It runs similarly to Street Fighter 4 with rare stutters, but it's quite playable, as long as you enjoy it. Alright, let's move to my probably favorite casual genre, racing games. I always test new phones with Asphalt 9 Legends, as it's got some really high quality graphics. I actually set it to high quality in the menu. You will see some stuttering or slowdowns from time to time, but they should disappear when you change the mode to performance. I didn't mind the occasional slowdowns though, and the graphics looked great, so it was a fun experience playing this game. The other game-loved racer, Asphalt Extreme, works perfectly, and this time there were no stutters, and since it's one of my favorite racing games, I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you haven't already, make sure to check it out, it's really good. The other racing game I'd recommend is Real Racing 3, which allows you to drive a wide range of cars, including Formula 1. Again, works perfectly well on the Redmi Note 9T 5G with no slowdowns, and it's even better with the game controller. Moving on to some 3D games, I checked out Sky Children of the Light, which is a beautiful game by the same developer who created one of the best games I've ever played, Journey. If you haven't played either of them, make sure you do. It's a real experience, you won't regret it. I haven't finished this one yet, but it's definitely on my to-do list. I also checked a new game, Genshin Impact, which looks really impressive and works really smoothly on the MediaTek Dimensity 800U processor. I think I'll come back to this game to see how good it is afterwards, but so far, playing the intro, it looks really great and seems fun to play. Before we go to 3D shooters, let's check some, let's say, mainstream games. Obviously, we had to check Raid Shadow Legends, not sponsored, and it works fine. But I can't say I'm a huge fan of games which show me huge arrows each time I'm supposed to do anything in the game. Unfortunately, Rise of Empires is exactly the same. Click here, click there, click here again, and that's all I'm doing. Oh well, at least it works fine on this device. I'll just continue waiting for a good version of the Settlers. Finally, let's check some multiplayer shooters. We've already done a gameplay video for PUBG on the Redmi Note 95G, so if you haven't seen it yet, make sure to click on that video. I really wanted to check FORTNITE to see how it runs, but unfortunately it's not officially supported according to the Epic Store, even though it seems to meet the requirements. However, I managed to download the game file directly, and after a notification that the game might not be supported, it loaded without issues. However, it's one of those games which didn't run too smoothly. We do have to keep in mind though that this is a really affordable device, and it's one of the most demanding games available, so it's really to be expected. Also, I think I'm too old for this game. I can never understand how it really works. Maybe I'll learn one day. On the other hand, Call of Duty Mobile worked really well. I didn't experience any slowdowns, and I surprisingly managed to do quite well in the game. Definitely more luck than in FORTNITE. So, what are my thoughts about gaming on the Redmi Note 95G? I have to say I'm really pleasantly surprised. All the games I've tried work either great or really well, with only some slowdowns in more demanding games. The MediaTek Dimensity 800U system on chip did a great job. The only issue I had was with FORTNITE not being recognized in the Epic Store, but that's probably just an issue with Epic not clearing this device as compatible. Also, I was surprised I managed to download all those games, some of them very large, and I still have space on my phone. Granted, I'm using the 128GB model, but even with the 64GB one, I'm sure I'd manage easily without installing them all at the same time. As long as you bear in mind that the Redmi Note 95G is not a flagship device and doesn't offer a high refresh screen, value for money you should be really happy, especially since the screen is quite large and really good quality. That's it for this video. We'll soon be wrapping up a long-term review of this device, so if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks to see more videos from us. If you enjoyed this video, leave us a like and any comments below. But for now, thanks for watching.